So I'm sure you can tell that I am at Starbucks for this last check-in that I have with class. Most of all, I just wanted to say thank you for a great 2 weeks. It's been wonderful to get to know each of you online, even though not in person. I've been impressed with all of the work that all of you have put into this class. I like the intercession because everyone is always a lot more engaged and a lot more present in what we're doing than can be the case in full-term online classes. This class seemed to be a step above even the usual intercession though. So thank you so much. I enjoyed learning from your insights on New Mexico history. I hope that you enjoyed learning a little bit more about New Mexico's past and also about the study of history itself. One last thought that I wanted to leave you with is thinking about historical legacies of different events. And I want to use the example of Blackdom to think about that with New Mexico history. So as we learned, Blackdom was created by Frank Warrior, his friend, his family, in 1900. It was a town that was created as a site of hope for African Americans escaping the violence and just outright lawlessness and impunity of the Jim Crow South, the straight racism that existed there. New Mexico was a place of hope for them, but not for long. And that's kind of what I want to talk about. Blackdom, I think, should be seen as a bright spot in New Mexico's history. It came into being the kind of last few years of the territorial period. And it was indeed a place where African Americans could find hope when they couldn't elsewhere. However, after statehood happened and after droughts kicked in, nearby towns received subsidies, they received government support, they received water, they received help for that. So places like Dexter and Hagerman and even Roswell, they still exist. Blackdom does not. Blackdom did not get the same kind of help that those other ones did, and there is racism inherent in the system, like it or not. The people of Blackdom, as we learned about, they moved to Vado, which is down near Las Cruces. Many of the descendants of the Warriors still live in that area. And they were able to continue to have a decent place to live. But the point I want to make with this story is that it's not enough to find the good examples or these great examples of history that allow us to pat ourselves on the back and think that, well, things were bad elsewhere, but they were good here, and everything is for the better here. We should celebrate those events, don't get me wrong. I think we should, absolutely. But we also can't let that kind of draw us into thinking that, well, everything's okay. Everything's okay then. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that many of us face in our nation today, is that it's really easy to say, well, we've come so far, everything's okay. And that kind of causes us to miss sometimes some of the ongoing issues. I'm not saying this is always the case, but it's something that happens, and it's something to be aware of and to keep in mind. So hopefully that's just something to take away from our class. Again, I enjoyed learning from you. I appreciate all of your hard work, and I hope that you have a great